Good day, yogis. This is Stephen Cheng coming to you live from Simha Yoga Lab in Jersey City, New Jersey. Please visit my website, simhayoga.com, for the full streaming schedule, as well as my payment information for Venmo and for PayPal. Venmo is my preferred way of payment, and my handle is Simha Yoga Lab, and the 4-digit ID code, if you're prompted for it, is 8096. Classes are $10, and if you're having a difficult time right now, $5 is fine. Please do the best you can. I'm streaming on Instagram and on Facebook, and then the videos are uploaded to my YouTube channel at Simha Yoga Lab. Please visit any of those platforms for videos to practice with anytime. If you are thinking about coming to in-studio classes, please go to the website again, simhayoga.com, and look for the text in pink. Those are the instructions on how to pre-register in class, for class, and there is a waiver that you need to download and e-sign. So make sure that you e-sign that, save that file, so that when you send me the email for pre-registration for class, you can attach that file. Now, instead of e-signing, you have the alternative of actually printing out the document, putting in your name and your telephone number, and that is your signature. Actually sign it too, right? Why not? And then you can either scan that document or you can photograph it, and that will be a file to email to me. So all of those are good options, okay? Today's class is basics. It is a level 1 class. We are working with a mellower practice, a little bit safer in terms of the level of skill required. It really is for the beginner's practice. I'm also doing a lot of kind of like movement therapy here. So for those of you who are working with tight shoulders, tight back, or some sort of minor injuries, these classes might be really good to kind of therapeutically kind of work with those conditions, right? But of course, if you're working with special conditions, limitations, or actual serious injuries, right? Be very mindful that you have to make some good decisions about what you should and should not do, right? So not every pose will be appropriate for your condition. So let pain be, or discomfort be your guide in doing something or not doing something. If something feels good and you feel like, oh, I really need that stretch, or I really needed something, then continue with it, right? Just make sure that you're not doing anything that will either become injurious to you, perpetuate any injuries, or anything like that, all right? So please be mindful about that. Okay, for those of you with tight hips, tight lower back, I highly recommend elevation. Sitting up on a block, sitting up on a blanket, very helpful in a cross-legged position. All right, palms face up. And the fingers come together, mudra, thumb and index fingers touching. Grounding evenly through your seat, let your shoulders broaden. And lips gently touch, regulating your breath by breathing only through your nose. And let your inhales even out with your exhales. Three ohms together, inhale. Keeping the eyes closed, hands together in prayer on front of the heart, pressing the thumbs into your heart, heart back into the thumbs, lifting the heart up towards the sky, setting your intention for your yoga practice, devoting your practice to someone or something, or to yourself, your supreme self that lives within your heart. Mantra for purification, purifying the space in which you practice yoga. Call and response. Om Pavitraha, Om Pavitraha, Pavitrawa, Pavitrawa, Sarva Vishtan, Sarva Vishtan, Gato Piwa, Yaha Smarit, Yaha Smarit, Pundrikaksham, Pundrikaksham, Sapahya, Sapahya, Bihyendraha, Bihyendraha, Suchihi, Suchihi. Beginning to open the eyes, palms face up. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, right ear to the right shoulder, right hand to the left side. Elongate through the left side of the neck. And take the chin toward the right shoulder. Release back to center, drop the right hand. Left ear to the left shoulder, left hand to the right side. And then chin toward the left shoulder. Release back to center, drop left hand, chin toward the chest. Big circles with the head in one direction. Ear to one side, roll it back, opposite side, roll it center. A few more rounds at your own pace. Chin back to center and pause. And then taking the opposite direction. And then back to center again. Lift the chin parallel to the floor and neutral spine. Coming off your blocks. And extend the legs forward, separating the feet. Turn your toes toward each other. And then roll out. Draw in. Roll out. Draw in. Outer rotation, circling. Back to center. Switch them around. And back to center again. Cross your shins, opposite shin on top. Raise the arms up high and extend. Twist to the right on the exhale. Right hand behind your left hand to the right knee. Back to center again, arms up. Other side. Center again. Side bends, right hand down, left arm overhead. Take back up. Other side. Back to center again. Legs forward, forward fold. Take it back up. Swing the legs back behind you. Come onto your shins. And let's sit on your shins for a second. All right, I'll give you a back view this time. All right, so taking your thumbs to the occipital ridge, which is the ridge of your skull. Interlace your fingers so you're nicely supported in the back of the head. Draw the elbows back so you're broadening your chest. With your thumbs, pull upwards, right? Pull upwards. So now you're lengthening your spine. And then lean the head slightly back and gently look upwards. Keep pulling up. All right, come back to center, release. Take your fingers, press alongside these big muscles, right, to the back of the neck. So to either side of your cervical spine, there are these groups of muscles, right? So press your fingers strongly into those muscles, and then lean the head back again. Come to a side view here. And then keep pressing your fingers into the flesh, into those muscles, and forward. Lift up and lean back and pull gently. And then lean, bow forward, keep pressing. And then let's come back again. Occipital ridge with your thumbs. Now, if you can figure it out, the other interlacing of the hands. Sitting up top, broaden your shoulders by drawing your elbows back. Pull upwards through your thumbs and lean the upper torso back to the back bend. Keep pulling with your thumbs. Keep lengthening it through your cervical spine. sides of the neck. Start to release, again, using your fingers to the muscles to either side of your cervical spine, the muscles around the neck, and pull into those muscles and draw the head back. And draw the head forward. Draw the head back. Draw the head forward. And then again, with your fingers, right? As if like you're playing an instrument, moving your index fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers, and pinkies, right? And just kind of in this manner, massage those big muscles to the back of the neck. All right? You can even go like this, right? And go like that. Now, also, you can take circular motion, right? So you can separate your fingers and through circular motion, give yourself some self-massage here. So for those of you who sit on front of a computer a lot, you know how sometimes your neck gets really stiff and this part of your neck and this part of your shoulders, right, all get really kind of tense and you get like the pains, right? So I get that sometimes when I'm sitting on front of a computer a lot, right? And this is what I do exactly. I press into those big muscles, I pull into them, and I lean the head back. And I lean the head forward, and then I massage a little bit. Sometimes I kind of use the opposite hand to the shoulder, like that, and then like that. So those are really great, simple ways for you to relieve some of this neck tension, right? Also, I like to use the thumbs, maybe if I use better, and just kind of like do these circular movements, looking down, right? So when you look down, the muscles tend to kind of like get firmer, right? And you want firm muscles around here to kind of press into and to knead in a circular motion, right? Because if you're like this, actually it feels okay like this. I prefer down, looking down because I like the muscles a little bit firmer when I press into them. This is okay too, right? With the thumbs, but I kind of feel like I'm not getting the maximum. Whereas if I'm using the fingers, right? I guess maybe the fingers are more agile. They're a little bit smaller than the thumbs, right? So then it might be easier to kind of manipulate more finely the muscles in a more relaxed manner, right? Whereas if I'm looking down, I prefer to do it this way. So just some suggestions for you. And then also, I like to go up and down like this. Right? All these are really great ways to do some self-massage, right? You know, I just kind of feel like in this day and age, during this pandemic, right, we're sitting in front of the computer a lot, and I kind of feel like we need a little bit of self-care. And since so many of us are not able to get body work, right, because, you know, maybe we don't feel so secure about it, we got to do something on our own. So, of course, yoga practice is one thing, but there's nothing like manual manipulation of body work, right? And so, of course, the ideal is to just lay there and be relaxed and somebody work on you. But if that is not possible, there are things that you can do, this being one of them. I do experience a little bit of tightness around the neck when I sit in front of a computer a lot, right? So I'm sure some of you are experiencing the same thing. So take some of these exercises. It might be really quite nice for you. All right. And sitting like that, you've got a nice stretch to your front of the shins and your feet. So let's come out of it, walking your hands forward. Tuck the toes under and be very slow, right? And coming out of this because your legs are going to be a little bit numb. Lift, and then very slowly make your way back to the down dog. And just take some pedaling out the legs, get some movement, get some circulation back. All right, let's take it back to stillness in your down dog. Hands are about shoulders width, middle fingers or index fingers point straight forward. Feet are over our hips width, heels are reaching down, but they never actually touch firmly down, right? So you always want a little bit of space. Now, if your hamstrings or hips are tight, you can always bend your knees a little bit. That feels quite nice as well. So all those are really great options. All right, on the inhale, raise your right leg up, 3 like a dog, extend up and back. Then step the right foot forward, ground the back heel down at an angle, and then rise up for warrior 1. So the right toes point straight forward, which means the inside of your foot is parallel to the side of the mat. Then lunge your front knee forward and get into a vertical line between the knee and the ankle. Back heel is down at an angle as well, and full extension of your left leg. Square the hips forward the best you can. Square the torso forward. Arms up, parallel to each other. Palms are facing each other. This is your warrior 1. Let's lengthen the front leg and bend the front knee. So when you bend, just get it to maximum to line up over the heel. Lengthen and bend. Lengthen and bend. Stay here. Arms alongside. Lean the torso forward. Now really ground through the back heel down, right? So really anchoring down there. And then keep the right knee lined up over the heel. Strong for your core, strong for your lower back. Crown of the head reaching forward to a diagonal. Grounding through the back heel and reaching to your fingertips. All right, so by now your right quad should be beginning to fire up. Come back to your vertical line, warrior 1. Open it up for warrior 2. Lengthen front leg, bend the front knee. 2 more times. Lengthen and bend. Lengthen and bend. Reverse warrior, right arm up and back. Side angle, right hand to the inside of the foot. Now, if that's difficult for you to touch down, then take the right arm to top of the right leg, stacking the shoulders, and left arm up. This is side angle modified. This is side angle, full expression of the pose. Inhale, take it back up. Reverse warrior, right arm up and back. Exhale, hands to the floor. Right foot stepping back, plank, and then lower all the way down to the belly. Hands alongside the rib cage, elbows drawn back. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. So your belly and your lower ribs still on the floor. Elbows drawn back. Exhale, lower arm goes all the way down. Inhale, lift up a little bit higher, so belly and ribs away from the floor, and keep lifting through your chest. Lower arms all the way down. Inhale, lift up even higher. Fullest extension of your arms, of course, if you need to keep the elbows bent, stay there. But fullest extension, the best you can. Bhujangasana, cobra pose. And bend the elbows, release. And then lift the chest. Draw the seat toward the heels. And fold forward. Walk your hands over to the left side. Take the left forearm down. Keep the right arm lifted, right? Right elbow lifted. Reach your right fingertips out and extend. So you should feel a nice hollowness to the armpits. The right arm is activated, extending forward, you're stretching into your right arm, right shoulder, right side ribs. Then draw the right hand in and right forearm down. Lean into your right forearm, lean towards the right side. Raise your left arm up, behind you to twist. Release your left hand back down, square back to center. Walk it over to the right side, right forearm down. Extend the left arm out. So again, the left arm is lifting away from the floor, but you're on your fingertips. Keep crawling the left fingertips over to the right side, and you're getting a hollowness to your left armpit, and extensions to your left arm, left shoulder, left side. Then start to release your left elbow down so your forearm is on the floor for support. Lean toward the left, so lean back towards center. Raise your right arm up and behind you. Twist. Release your right hand back down, lift back up, and then crawl the hands forward, down dog. Inhale, left heel up to sky, three-legged dog. Step the left foot forward. Warrior one. So left toes point straight forward, inside the foot, parallel to side of the mat. Left knee lines up over the heel, vertical line. Ground with the back heel at an angle, full extension of the right leg. Square the hips forward, vertical spine. Arms alongside the ears, palms facing each other, warrior one. Then reach your hands forward and down. As you reach your fingertips down toward the floor, lean the torso forward, one straight line. So grounding through the back heel will give you the support, crown of the head reaching forward, fingertips reach back and down at an angle. So that should give you a nice sense of lengthiness. Now, by now, your left quads should start to fire up. All right, take it back up. Warrior one, open it up. Warrior two, reverse warrior. Side angle, left hand to the floor. Now, that's a little bit tough of a reach for you. Let's modify that. Elbow to top leg, right arm up. Inhale, take it back up, reverse the warrior. Stretch your left side again, and then hands to the floor. Left foot stepping back plank, and lower all the way down to the belly. Keep the hands alongside the rib cage. Again, 3 progressive cobras. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. On the exhale, lower arms all the way down. Inhale, lift up a little bit higher. Exhale, arms all the way down. Lift up even higher. Bhujangasana, full extension of your arms. Bend the elbows, release. Take it all the way back. Child's pose. Lift back up to your hands and knees. Tuck the toes under for additional support. Left hand, one hand print wider, one hand print further forward. On the inhale, raise your right elbow up and wind it up. On the exhale, thread the arm underneath, but you're suspended in space. 5 times. Inhale, draw the right elbow up. Exhale, thread it through. So these are thoracic twisting. Inhale, raise your right arm up. Exhale, thread it through is 3. Inhale, raise your right arm up. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. This time, place your top of the right hand to the floor. Keep sliding the right hand over to the left side as you bend your left elbow. Take the right shoulder, right cheek toward the floor and twist. Press your left hand strongly to the floor and resist so the left shoulder is actively joined back in space. All right, press into your left hand. Come back up and remeasure back into your regular hands and knees. Then other side, right hand wider, right hand one hand print further forward. On the inhale, raise your left arm up and wind it up. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, lift. Exhale, thread. Inhale, lift. Exhale, thread. Inhale, lift. Exhale, thread. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, thread it through. Take the top of the left hand to the floor. Start to slide the left hand further to the right side. Start to bend your right elbow. Left shoulder, left cheek toward the floor. And press your right hand strongly to the floor for resistance. We're looking to stack the right side more actively over your left. So think about pushing into your right hand to draw the right shoulder further back in space. Press your right hand down, lift back up, walk it back in. All right, readjusting your hands, and let's take it back to your down dog. Inhale, raise your right leg up, three-legged dog. Step the right foot forward, warrior one, ground the back heel, arms apart. You're going to take your thumbs and hook your thumbs, and then pull the hands strongly apart. Reach up and back, and lean the upper torso back. Now, if you cannot get your arms this far back behind the ears, that's okay, right? If your shoulders are tight, maybe straight up, maybe even forward, right? So this range of motion all depends on how much mobility you have in your shoulders, and all of those are valid, right? If your shoulders are tight, maybe that's all you can get. That's okay, as long as your arms are active, right? You're pulling your thumbs apart, away from each other, and your arms are extending and they're active, right? So in time, hopefully, what you're looking to do is gain more and more flexibility, mobility into your shoulders. All right, come back to vertical, releasing hands, warrior one. Open it up, warrior two. Lengthen out the right leg, triangle, tip the left hip back, right hand forward. So the right hand can go to top of the shin, maybe a little bit lower if you have more range, but of course, if you can touch all the way down, fantastic. Take that, left arm reaching up. All right, touching down is very tough for your hamstrings and your hips, then take it a little bit higher. Right, this is perfectly fine. Maybe a little bit more range, full expression. Inhale, take it all the way back up. Reverse triangle. Bend the front knee, hands to the floor. Right foot stepping back. And again, lower all the way down to the belly. Walk your hands forward, forearms down. This time, you're going to take the thumbs and hook it to the bottom of your chin. You can interlace your fingers, you can take Venus Mudra, whatever you like, right? You can just kind of go like this, your choice. Right? You're going to pull your chin forward. The back of the neck is going to contract, right? That's okay. For the purpose of this, if you crunch the back of the neck, you kind of have no choice but to have to do that. More importantly, in this particular movement is to stretch open the throat. Keep pulling forward with your thumbs. And start to release. Take the forearms down. Grab opposite elbows to measure off of your shoulders. And take your arms parallel. Make sure your left shoulder, left elbow are roughly lined up to about a vertical line. So you went 90 degrees with your arms. Press your belly and your lower ribs down. Lift your chest. Gaze forward. All right, so let's bend your right knee, flex your right foot. Think about pressing into your left leg to lift the right leg off the floor. When you lift the right leg off the floor, your right glutes will start to fire up. The lower back on the right side will also start to fire up. Keep the foot flexing and lifting. Right, you will shift to your left just a little bit, right? But you don't want to roll to the side. Start to release your right leg back down, release your right foot. Second side, bend your left knee, flex your left foot. Press into the top of the right leg, right foot, and then lift the left leg. When you lift your left leg, you're going to feel the lower back on the left side, your left glutes firing up. All right, so again, you're shifting to the right just a little bit. You're not rolling to the right. All right, keep the left leg active. And start to release. Coming out of the pose by moving your elbows sideways. Walk your hands in, and then child's pose. Feet toward the heels, nice and slow. So you were holding that back bend for a while, right? So to come out of the back bend into a forward bend, you have to go slow. Come back up, dolphin push-ups. Again, grab opposite elbows. That's how you measure out your shoulders width. Then take the hands into your fists. You have a choice. Interlace your fingers or wrap one hand over the other. Totally up to you. Then press the outside of the forearms to the floor. Press your fist to the floor, the side of the fist. And then tuck the toes, lift the knees. And the first action is to press into your forearms and shift the weight back in space. The heels should not touch all the way down. You should still be hovering. But you should feel a nice amount of extension through the back body. Right? We're going to take 5 dolphin push-ups. On the inhale, take the chin forward past your fist and lower down a little bit. Exhale, press it back. That's 1. Inhale forward. Exhale back is 2. Inhale forward. Exhale back is 3. Inhale forward. Exhale back 4. Inhale forward. Exhale back 5. Lower the knees. Child's pose. Come back, down dog. Inhale, left heel up. Exhale, left heel forward. Warrior 1. So again, set up your feet right away. Interlace your thumbs, hook your thumbs, take the opposite, right, from what you did on the first side. Reach forward, pull the hands strongly apart, reach up and overhead, and then take that into a slight back bend if you can. All right, so again, if you can't get your arms past your ears, straight up is fine, even forward is fine. You just want to pull actively your hands apart and therefore activating your arms and your shoulders. Come back up to vertical, release, warrior 1. Open it up, warrior 2. Lengthen out the left leg, triangle, tip the right hip back, reach your left hand forward. So again, if you know that your hamstrings are tight and you need to be a little higher, your left hand can go anywhere along the left shin. If you want to take the left hand to the floor and you're able to, then right arm straight up. This is your triangle. Inhale. Take it all the way back up. Reverse triangle. Bend the front knee, hands to the floor. Left foot stepping back. And again, lower all the way down to the belly. Walk your hands forward, forearms down. Grab opposite elbows, measuring out your shoulders width. And again, thumbs to the chin. And then, whatever variation you want to take, just press your thumbs forward, get lengthy through your throat. All right, start to release, arms down again. Now this time, you're going to press your pubis down and lift the ribs, lift the belly away from the floor, but the pubis stays on the floor. You're rounding your lower, your mid, and your upper back, chin toward the chest, and holding it here. Now as you pull the belly up and back, you're activating your core, and by now, there should be a little bit of shaking beginning to happen, right? There should be a nice amount of broadness to your mid-back. And gently start to release. Move the elbows outwardly. Walk your hands back. Child's pose. Taking a seat toward the heels once again. Come back up, setting up for your dolphin push-up second side. So again, you can interlace your fingers and take the other thumb on top, or you're wrapping your hands one over the other, opposite hand on top. Sides of your forearms, sides of your fists, pressing to the floor. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees, and first action is to press back in space. So press your forearms down. Use that resistance, that tractioning of the arms to the floor, so that you can draw the heels toward the floor. So you should not be touching all the way down. You should have a little bit of space, but there should be a lot of intensity at the back of the legs. Dolphin push-ups 5 times. Inhale, take it forward. Exhale, press it back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Last one. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Take the knees back down. Child's pose. Start to roll back up. Down dog. Walk your feet forward toward your hands. Coming to the front of the mat. Take the feet together and the knees together with your hands supporting. Bend at the knees as you drop. Lift the head and the upper back and shift the weight back through the strength of the legs. Come up to a standing position. So everyone should be facing forward. I'm going to turn and face you. All right, so tree pose. Stepping on the left foot. Pick up the right knee. Open up the knee to the side. Grab that foot. Take it to the inner left leg. Try to go above the knee joint if you can. If this is really tight for you and it's throwing off your balance, go below the knee joint. It should make it a lot easier for you. All right, whichever you have, go ahead and take it. Keep the gaze at any fixed point to the floor ahead of you. That will help you to focus and balance. Then take the hands together in prayer. Raise your arms up and out. As you extend the arms out in a wide position, that should give you a nice extension to your shoulders and your arms, so giving you a little bit of flexibility. And then as you hold, you're strengthening. With the legs, press your right foot in toward the left leg. Press the left leg back into your right foot. So the two squeezing toward each other should give you a strong pillar to balance on. Right, so there could be a little bit of swaying or movement. That is okay as long as you keep fighting to try to balance, right? So within balance, it's not only stillness, right? There could be a little bit of movement. There could be a lot of movement, depending on your practice in balance, right? And even from day to day, you could be a really good balancer, but maybe you didn't, sleep enough today, or maybe you're really stressed out. Whatever the case is, right? Sometimes we could get a little bit shaky, and that is fine. You just work with what you have. All right, let's start to take the arms up. Draw the right knee forward. Release your right foot. And then releasing the arms and walk it out side to side. Decompress your left leg. All right, let's take it back to center. Second side. Feet and knees together. Stepping on the right foot. Pick up the left knee. Open up the knee to the left side. Grabbing that foot. Take it above the knee joint or below the knee joint. Gazes to the floor, slightly ahead of you. Hands together in prayer. Take the arms up and out in a wide position. And for those of you who are pretty shaky here, right, start to activate your legs again. Press your left foot in towards center. Press your right leg in towards center. Now also think about the right foot down. If you press into the big toe, into the toe mound, right, that big bony part behind the big toe, if you press into that big toe mound, you might find a little bit more stability. I overdid it. There we go. And much steadier for me as well. Take the arms up, left knee forward, step the left foot down, release. Now, the reason why that happens is this. I don't know if it's true for you, but for me, definitely, and I've spoken to enough people, most people that I talk to, when they lose the balance, they tend to sway outwardly to the side, not towards center, but to the side. So how do you combat that? So if I'm standing on my left foot, if I'm falling off to left side, how do I not fall to left side? I press into the big toe mound, into the inside of the foot. And what that does is it brings my equilibrium, my center of gravity back to center. pressing to your toe mount. And then also remember, you have the opposite foot pressing inwards as well. So this pressing in and this, the big toe part pressing down and in, actually draws back to center. Isn't that true? Right? So my right foot is pressing in toward the left leg. Left leg pressing back into your right foot. But let's say I'm still falling off to left. How do I combat that? If I press into your left big toe mount, it draws me back to center. So that's the reason why when you're taking balance poses, right, a lot of the time. Balance poses when you're standing, usually it's 1 foot off the floor, right? So 1 foot off the floor means the other leg or whatever body part is a little bit wider, right? So by pressing into the toe mount, that brings you back to center, okay? All right, so we walked it out. We took tree on both sides, right? All right. Come back to Tadasana again, standing mountain pose, feet together, knees together. Stepping on the left foot, pick up the right knee, right hand to right knee. Left arm out to the side, open up the leg to the right side. And so this time, you're not using the legs pressing against each other. You're using the width of your left arm out and the right knee out to counterbalance. Right? I still find it useful to press into your left toe mount. And also your toes. Don't forget about your toes. Your toes are actively gripping to the floor as well, right? All right, let's begin to break. Take it back to center. Step the right foot down and decompress by walking it out side to side. All right, come back to center. Feet together, knees together. Stepping on the right foot, pick up the left knee. Left hand to the left knee, right arm out. And then open up the left knee out to the left side. Again, gaze to the floor ahead of you at a fixed point. Start to break. Bring it back to center. Walk it side to side. All right. Come back to Tadasana. Inhale. Raise the arms forward, up and back into a slight back bend. Exhale. Bending the knees as you draw forward. Keep the hands to the floor. Step the right foot back. Palms flat. Step the left foot back. Down dog. Inhale. Raise your left leg up. Step the left foot forward. Crescent moon. Right knee comes down. Extra padding to the right knee if you need it. Walk your hands top to side. Lunge forward. For today, let's just stay here. Let's work on the action of the hips moving forwards and downwards. Right? Just let the hips get heavy and sink into the pose. And you notice that as you hold this pose, every inhale, you're lengthening, you're gathering energy. Through the exhale, you're sinking into the pose and going for depth. Take 2 more breaths. Now think about the back toes behind you, right? You're pressing into the top of the right big toe. And that would draw the energy back to center, back to the midline. Same thing with the front leg. Press into your left big toe mount so that the knee does not kind of like sway out to the side, but instead pressing towards center. All right, let's start to break. Hands to either side of the left foot, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. You're going to ground the palms and kick the left leg up. This time, open up the hips, bend the left knee for sideward scorpion. So you're stacking your hips left side over your right, and you're rotating the hips to face toward the sky. Left knee is reaching up, right heel is reaching down. All right, re-extend the left leg, square off your hips. Pigeon, draw the left knee in and land the top left shin to the floor. You're in a pointed left toe position. Left knee, left thigh angles out to the side, 30 to 45 degrees. Hands supporting. Inch your right knee as far back as you can and lower the hips. Untuck the toes. Walk your hands back, elongate through the spine. If you set this up properly, your hips should feel pretty level and your spine should be pretty vertical. And if you did all this right, you should feel pretty balanced here. Then once you have all that set up, now you're ready to take the arms forward. You can stay in your forearms. You can make pillows with the hands and release. All right, so we're going to stay here tonight. We're going to skip any of those variations where you sit up. For those of you who have the benefit of having blocks, books, and I've started also introducing canned goods, right? If you have nice tall cans that are nice and sturdy, you can use them as blocks. So for today, if you have 2 of them, extend the arms forward and press your hands to the top of the block, to the blocks or to your cans of food, and then release the head. So what this is doing is it's giving you more shoulder flexibility because you're extending forward. And by dropping the head, you're going into a depth in that flexibility. Now, you may not be able to drop the head, right? So, of course, if your shoulders are tight, you may not get that range of motion. Even if you're hovering in space, that is okay. Think about the arms being active. Think about the armpits drawing toward the floor, and that will give you that shoulder mobility. The gaze is to the floor, but the crown of the head reaching forward, right? So you're nice and active here. So your head is still supported by the lift through the neck. Crown of the head forward is a line of energy, but your arms are extended. You're actively letting the shoulders get heavy and reaching toward the floor, the armpits reaching toward the floor. And that will give you that lengthiness to the underside of your arms and openness into the underside of your shoulder joints. All right, let's release. Walk it back in. All right, so as you can see, if you have some canned goods, right, maybe they're not quite this tall, maybe they're more like this, right, or maybe they're like this. With even this elevation, oops, sorry about that, even with this elevation, it could feel quite nice to get that extension. So use that. Or maybe you have only one can, right? You can use both hands to the can. So any of those are really good options. So try to use them. All right, walk your hands back in. Tuck the back toes, press into your hands, and lift to walk right back to your down dog and pedal out the legs. And so it's through movement that you get some circulation back. So take lots of movement. We're there for a while. And especially for those of you who are really good with engaging and know how to engage, right? So oftentimes, when you're newer to the practice, right, once you get to a pose, you just kind of sit into the pose and you don't quite engage because you were either not instructed to engage or you don't know how to engage it, right? But that's okay, right? So with newer students, you may not have that body awareness yet, and all those instructions in your tool belt, right? To understand when you're just taking a pose, you're not just sitting there, right? You're also starting to engage and finding extensions and strengthening all that stuff, right? So if you don't quite have that yet, that's okay, right? Keep practicing, and the instructions will come, and then you just learn from that. All right, second side. Raise your right leg up, crescent moon. Step the right foot forward between your hands, left knee comes down, untuck the toes, walk your hands top of the thighs. With your hands supporting, lunge forward, right? If you need padding, to your left knee, right? If you have sensitive knees, you might want to take padding with your blankets, with your towels, whatever. All right, so we're going to concentrate on the hips moving forward. So with your hands to your sides, lean the hips forwards and downwards. So you should get a very nice extension to the front of the left quad into your hips, right? And all the muscle groups of the hip flexors. Right, so you want to also engage by pressing into the top of the left big toe. You want to engage your right leg by pressing into the inner right big toe. And so oftentimes, if you don't engage, right, maybe the toes splay out, or the foot splays out, or the knees splay out, right? You want to draw in towards center. Right? So if you made that adjustment, does that feel different, right? All right, let's break. Hands to either side of the right foot. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee. Ground the palms, kick the right leg up, and open up the hips, bend the right knee. Stay here as you stack the hips. Right knee is reaching up, left heel is reaching down. So you're opening up through the hips. This is also giving you a chance to neutralize before you then re-extend, square off, draw the right knee into pigeon. Land the top of the right shin to the floor. So you are in a pointed toe position. Right? So with your hands supporting, start to think about the right knee, right thigh, angling out to the side, 30 to 45 degrees. With your hands supporting, into left knee, further back to lower your hips, untuck the toes. Walk your hands back, elongate through the spine. Right? So feel for levelness. Right? You should feel pretty level on both sides. Spine is pretty straight. And if all that is done right, you should feel pretty balanced. All right, let's take it forward. You can be on your forearms. You can make pillows with the hands. All depends on your preference. All right, so my own preference is I like to stay in the forearms and lift the upper back. Because when I lift my upper back, I can sink my weight back and down toward the seat. Whereas if I go this way, I feel like my weight falls forward. It's a little bit more even, right, throughout my entire torso. So if I'm more even and the weight is drawn forward just a little bit, that means I'm going for less hip opening, right? Because I'm much more evenly spread out with the weight distribution. However, if I'm a little higher up, I can sink into the seat a little bit more effectively. And so for my purpose, I need hip opening. So for me, this is my chance of getting that, right? So my own preferences, and if you ever, if you're taking classes with me and you watch me, I tend to just stay here a little bit more than anything else. All right, so for those of us who took the variation, right, so this time I'll go a little bit lower, right? So arms forward and press strongly into the top of the blocks. Now, if you're not letting the head just drop, then you want to extend the crown of the head forward. So the back of the neck is a little bit active to lift the weight of the head. Right? If you want to sink your head and let the head rest, that's okay too. Right? So both of those are good options. And so my arms are fully extended. I'm pressing strongly the palms to the top of the block. So that activates my arms. I'm getting so much opening through the underside of my shoulder joints and the extension through the underside of my arms. All right. Let's begin to walk it back in. Tuck the back toes, press into your hands to lift the right leg and press it back into a down dog. So take lots of time to neutralize and walk it out side to side. All right. Let's start to walk your feet forward toward your hands. Take the feet down. Extend the legs forward. With your hands to either side, sliding the hands out, assisting the weight of your torso as you lower down. Once you're on your back, hug the left knee in. Keep the left arm out to a T position, and then gently twist to the right. So rolling to outer right leg, outer right hip. But make sure that you keep your left arm and left shoulder blades flat to the floor. So they are serving as your foundation right now, right? So try not to let the left shoulder blade come off the floor. Right? So the left knee may not touch down to the floor. That's perfectly fine. Right? So touching down is secondary. More important is stabilization through your left arm, left shoulder blade, as you rotate to the right. All right, take it back to center. Switch legs, switch arms, and twist the other direction. So keep the right shoulder blades, right arm flat to the floor as you rotate to the left. So you're spinal twisting in a reclined position. All right, square back to center. Hug both knees in. And then step the feet to the floor. Slide the legs forward. Let the toes turn out. Arms alongside the body, palms face up, eyes are closed. And let everything go. Shavasana, final relaxation. Start to draw the breath back in, moving the fingers and the toes. Reach the arms overhead, stretching in opposite direction. When you're ready, roll over to the right and come up to a comfortable cross-leg position. Reconnecting to an even seat, a lengthy spine, shoulders broad, breath deep, and let the neck be free. Inhale for Om. Hands together in prayer, bowing forward, sealing the practice. Inhale, come up. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I appreciate your time. Please visit my website, simhayoga.com, for the full streaming schedule, as well as my payment information for Venmo and for PayPal. Venmo is my preferred way of payment, and my handle is Simha Yoga Lab. And the 4-digit ID code, if you're prompted for it, is 8096. Classes are $10, and if you're having a difficult time right now, $5 is fine. Please do the best you can, and please also share the word, right? I'm streaming on Instagram and on Facebook, and the videos are uploaded also onto my YouTube channel, Simha Yoga Lab. Please visit any of those platforms to practice, and the videos are all up there for your reference. If you're thinking about coming to the in-studio classes, note that the classes are at 25% capacity, and it is necessary for you to pre-register. So go to the website, simhayoga.com, look for the text that is in pink. That's the instructions for how to pre-register. There is a waiver that you need to download right underneath that pink text, and go ahead and open that, download it, e-sign it by punching in your name and your telephone number. That's your e-signature, and save that file. Alternatively, you can open the file, print it, put in your name and your telephone number and actually sign it. And at that point, you can scan it, you can photograph it, and that will be the file in which you will email to me. So when you pre-register, you have to email me and on the subject line, your full name, the date, and the time in which you want to take the class, attach the waiver, send it to me. And then when I receive it, I will reply back whether or not I have space for you. Chances are I do have space for you. And then at that point, the email serves as your pre-registration as well as contact tracing. So if everyone sends me, and I'm hoping everyone does, then if anything happens, I can just look up who's in that class. Very easy through my emails, okay? So thank you for putting in the effort of doing all of that. All right, so thank you so much. Be well, take care. I will see you soon.